I want to address the topic of decentralization today. Basically, right now it's a very hot topic because people hear from the media that blockchain is like a revolutionary technology that helps to decentralize everything and remove intermediaries and reduce fees and increase the speed of payments and security and so on. And somehow this topic is connected to cryptocurrency and ICO and tokens and coins and everything. And basically what happens is that when people hear that somebody is issuing a token, they immediately think it's like a revolutionary and will change everything regardless of the features of this particular thing. And obviously it creates the very fertile field for a scam or something like that. So basically decentralization is not about blockchain, surprising, right? It's not about tokens or something like that. Why? Decentralization is basically an approach to do decision making. And decision making could be about anything, about voting, about trading, about public registries, about storage of information, about processing, about audit, about many things. And decentralization by itself implies that people are ready to do decision making in this way. And blockchain is a technology to automate such decision. So it's not, blockchain doesn't make everything good by default. So you have to follow certain rules. You have to basically take the new way to think. And if we look at the real world, decentralization means that people with basically written with blood, they made certain rules, what they should do, what they shouldn't do. So for example, exchange is separated from the custodian and from the clearinghouse, and that makes sense because nobody can control all these three activities. If you look at the crypto world and we see the big Bitcoin banks, for example, Coinbase, then Coinbase is a custodian, is an exchange, is a processing and clearinghouse, the same thing. And for other entities, maybe like Binance, they act as an investment bank, as an underwriter, and they have its own token that is needed to invest in certain token sales on top of it. So basically that's not a decentralized at all, not decentralized structure. It's prohibited to do in a real world. And people should think why that happened, because it prevents fraud. So other example of decentralization is like independence of judiciary, of legislative and executive powers in the state. It prevents, again, the corruption and creates a field for like transparent public audit of all the things. So decentralization also means the freedom of payment, whether you can use different currencies to do certain things. So again, in many cases, advocates of crypto, they say, oh, it's good to have your own token in your own project, and even if it's centralized. Obviously not, because it limits the ability of users to pay for things they want to pay for. And they could use Bitcoin or Ether or something else, but they are limited with a certain token that artificially was introduced. And obviously the anonymous currency makes sense when you have fully anonymous system, permissionless like Bitcoin. It needs to have its own currency to pay for miners. But if there is a centralized service, or if it's an enterprise application where everybody is KYC'd anyway, it obviously doesn't make sense to introduce another financial asset that uses a breach asset. So decentralization by itself doesn't imply anonymity. So decentralization can, again, automate decision-making rules that were written by certain parties that decided to do so. That's the key thing.